Welcome to the Hall of Fame Club podcast, now with Season 2 flavoring. Still your local source for the 2025 Philly season. And now your hosts, Chris, JV, and Keith.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and welcome to another episode of the Hall of Fame Club podcast, brought to you live on the Broken Bell Network. Quick, finger check. Everybody still got all 10? Yeah, we're good? All right, good. Welcome, all 10 toes? Good. All right, good. So we survived the 4th of July, and tonight the fellows will talk about the recapping of the Reds and the Padres series. We'll preview the Giants and the Padres series and some more Padres stuff and more Padres. Any of the new trade rumors that have come out. We'll talk about, we'll ask the question, does the team have the spark needed for those postseason fireworks? And, of course, reminding us how baseball is really a game of helping others. We will have a special guest who you probably see over there. We'll have him tonight on the show, and maybe some more stuff too. All that on tonight's episode of the Hall of Fame Club podcast. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
That was a mouthful.
Living the dream.
Messed it up. Yeah.
That fingers and toes checks. It went differently in the head, didn't it?
It definitely did.
Okay, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, listen,
throw it against the wall, see what sticks, and that one bounced.
Credit, you stuck with it. I feel like that was you didn't let the bit die. You didn't want to be like, "Oh shit, I'm halfway through. Might as well sell it." Thank you so much for the intro. We also have Eric Perugini, a co-host from the Philly podcast, joining us tonight. Been trying to get him to be the fourth Phillies chair for the longest, but my man likes to work, and he did slip in tonight. But we do have a real treat for you today.
Two kids.
So this just is another show that we're going to talk about some stats, standing, stupid arguments from Fuzzy. This is going to be about the heart of the game. So joining us tonight with the Hall of Fame Club is someone who's using baseball and softball to do something way bigger than just put the runs on the board. He's the president for Homers for Hope. It's an incredible nonprofit that turns dingers into dollars to help families facing real life hardships. So please welcome John Durso. John, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. That's great. Dingers for dollars. That's a new one. I think you got to trademark that, and we got to put it on a T-shirt. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, dingers into dollars. I thought let's just jump right into this. So for people who haven't even heard of Homers for Hope before, can you just walk us through what the organization does and just give us how it quickly got started? Because I'm sure that's a big spark story right there, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, if you're playing softball in the Philadelphia area, maybe it's in these recovery softball leagues, maybe it's in a church league, you probably know somebody that played in one of our derbies. We've been around since 2010. So we've been around for 15 years or so. We've had softball home run derbies locally at little recs. We've also rented stadiums. We've had them in the summer. We've had them in the fall. I believe this one coming up in July is actually going to be our 30th. I have to double check that. But yeah, man, we've had probably close to 200 different softball players play in our events. Between here and we've had guys from New Jersey drive down. I mean, we've been all over the place, but essentially what we do is we use softball and baseball to raise money for local families that had a tragedy. So the tragedy could be a number of different things. Lately, unfortunately, there's been a lot of cases we've helped with kids that have had some type of cancer, but we've also helped scenarios where there'd been an adult who got injured and didn't have the proper insurance in place. We've helped families out in Lancaster, Delaware County, Montgomery County, Bucks. I mean, we're kind of that tri-state area. But it started in 2009 where a guy I had played baseball with my whole life, we both grew up in Roxborough, played for the Ivy Ridge Panthers, American Legion, if anybody's familiar. And I was the shortstop. He was the second baseman. We played together for a long time. And then in 2009, he had an accident, and he left his wife and a very young special needs son. And it was pretty shocking to our group of friends and to our team. And we didn't know what to do about it. We didn't know how to process it. We were like 29, 30 years old. And we did a home run derby. And we went to what was called Daisy's Field in Wisconsin in Roxborough, which is now David Montgomery Field. The Phillies dedicated it to him. And that's where Homers for Hope started. We did a little home run derby with a bunch of adults at a Little League field. And we've got great home movies from it. It's on the website. We have a little AC/DC music playing behind it. So if you go to homersforhope.org, you can find that in the About Us page. But we raised money for his wife, and we did it with a home run derby. And the next year, we tried to do it again to keep his memory alive. And she was like, I'm good. Thank you guys for last year, but keep doing it. Go find someone else to help. So our second year, we went to the local church, and we said, hey, listen, we know you know a family that needs this. And we gave it to them, and then they passed it on. We then decided to become a 501c3 charity, and that really took us off. Now we're able to rent stadiums. We're able to process credit cards. We're able to get sponsors. We're able to do tax-deductible donations and stuff like that. So since that started in 2010 to today, we've helped more than 45 different families, but we pay bills for them. So it's not like GoFundMe at all. I can tell you where every dollar we've ever raised went, because the families that get approved through our process, they actually send me their bill, their electric bill, their water bill, their mortgage, their car payment, and we pay the bill directly. The families never touch any cash. So all those, fraudulent GoFundMe pages from years ago, they've really got a handle on that now. They're doing a great job. Our process, there's no way for fraud. So since we started, we've helped 45 different families, and this year, hopefully, we'll reach the $500,000 mark in bills paid. We're sitting at like $486,000, and we don't have any paid employees. It's volunteers. I'm sure we could do more if we had staff, but it's my friends and people like you that give us a chance to tell our story, and people in the softball community that want to be part of a pretty cool competition and help, a family that really needs it. So,
okay. Well, kind of building off of that a little bit, you said your friends are there with you helping run the program. Let's give them a little love. Who all is involved in it? Like, what are the main people's roles, I guess, and helping you get everything for Homers for Hope rolling?
No, I appreciate that. So like any charity, we have a board of directors, and there's a number of people on the board. Most of them have been, around from the beginning. We have a number of companies that have supported us from day one. I don't know if you want me to name drop people and companies and stuff? Or?
Yes, please.
All right, cool. I can't do this without my wife, who's been with us the entire time. But Derek Morgan, right? Derek has been a co-founder. He owns a little t-shirt shop up in Monkey's Uncle and up in Doylestown called Monkey's Uncle. Great story behind that t-shirt shop. Essentially, he wanted to start a business to help adults with special needs and kids with special needs learn job skills, and they decided to open a t-shirt store. So if you're up in Doylestown and you're looking for some Phillies gear and Eagles gear, Monkey's Uncle on Main Street's the place to go for that, because they're much bigger than they're doing a lot bigger things than that, right? Then Fiore Design actually designed our logo, and they designed all of our stuff. They've designed everything we've had for free for years. Fast Signs of the main line, they print all our banners. There was Crown Trophy in Conshohocken. My God, they gave here, and I got the trophy here. You play in the home run derby, you got a chance to win the heavyweight belt.
Oh, stop!
Right? It's like the legit.
Is that real? Is that that's like a $300 style belt?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's It's about 5
Why do
pounds.
you
get
why
your
do
name
you
on
have
it.
why do you have one, John?
We're marketing, baby. This isn't. We're doing the tour.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you had the belt. I wasn't sure if you were just trying to. I wasn't sure if it was like a humble brag, like you are the reigning home run champ in your own derby.
No, first of all, I don't play in them. I only played in them one time, and when I did, I absolutely embarrassed myself. I mean, some of these guys are really good.
He's the pitcher. That's who hits most home runs off of them.
They have to donate a lot of money if they want me to pitch, and some of them do. Some of them, like because we have this whole thing like I am the greatest pitcher, and I just serve them up. Well, I guess you want me to pitch, you better start. You better donate a lot of money.
Yeah.
You serve them up like Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, right?
Oh,
yeah, pretty much. Don't get me
it's
started.
the man has a family.
I have a LinkedIn poll right now going. Who would you rather start Game 7 of the World Series? The prime Nolan Ryan or the prime Clayton Kershaw? And you don't want to know. You want to find out the answer? Go find the poll and take the poll. Anyway.
Yeah, that really hurts. That really hurts JV's feelings because he knows it's true. What's the vibe like at some of these at these like derbies? Like how big do they get? Like and what's kind of like when someone comes out, what are they expecting to see? Are they sitting down to kind of like watch just guys come up to slap some home runs, get into it, or do you go out for this whole production? Like how's it go?
It's grown. Right. So the first couple of years, it was like I have some balls and one person has a bat. Let's go, let's go mess around. Last year, we had a production crew and did it live on like a sports network. We have somebody running a radar gun to get exit velos.
Shut up.
We have a distance measurement guy with a laser to tell you how far they went. We have PA announcers. We've had live music. And last year we had our first ex-Major League Baseball player, a guy named Mike Johnson, who quite literally had a cup of coffee on the Pittsburgh Pirates. But he played, and we buy special home run derby softballs. So if you go to like Dick's or Modell's or whatever, and you buy softballs off the counter that you would use in your rec league, they have a certain core compression. They are literally softballs. These freaking things are like 650 core compression. Like they are made to leave stadiums, and they do. So we now have to buy special bats because these balls break all the bats all the time. So a lot of times we'll get these softball players that are like really into softball, and they'll buy like a $500 bat. They'll shave the inside of it to give them an advantage in their softball game. Takes one swing and shatters
the bat, right? And first of all, shaving or rolling your bat is you're only breaking down the longevity of your bat. You only got good 15 hits anyway. You're going to break it against a special ball. That's crazy, and everyone's going to know you shave your bat.
Yeah,
because it always breaks, and I've seen those videos, man. They always break in like the most expected of ways when you shave.
Yeah, it's wild. And to go back to the vibe, right? So the vibe is. It's a fun day. It's a family environment. The family we're there to benefit is here. Everybody gets to meet the person that they've been raising money for the last 3 months. The family gets to meet these complete freaking strangers who are all bonding together over a game, but they're all doing it in a way that's bigger than the game, and it's bigger than them. And we have no like wealthy people. I wish we did. Everybody involved are like landscapers and roofers, and some people are accountants. I mean, they're just this normal Philadelphia people, and they're all coming together to help this family. So it's a really great environment. Some of the players are not even softball players. They're like, I just want to raise money, and this sounds like a fun thing. So the most contestants we had was about 26. One year we had 26. We normally get 13 to 15. Of the 13 to 15, I'd say 8 or 9 are really seriously there to try to win this because it's bragging rights. Usually the guys know each other from local softball leagues, and there's a couple that can really hit. I mean, if you've ever been to Trenton Thunder Stadium, we got one guy that puts them in the river, at least 3 or 4 in the river every time he comes up.
This sounds absolutely amazing, John.
Absolutely.
I do want to break this. Is it possible we could set this up now at your next Derby, do a podcast challenge? It seems like a Drunk Phil's fan podcast. Great show, by the way. I would love to get you maybe onto their show. We'll do the connect there. But Chris is amazing over there. He does not like Fuzzy at all. Like it's one of those things. He just does not like him as a person. I could absolutely agree and see why. He's not wrong. But it just seems like what's going on now is the only way to really settle this is for them to do a 1v1 derby at one of your.
I will make you a deal because something like this happened to me one time. We were in Lakewood, New Jersey. We rented the Lakewood Blue Claws, one of the best stadiums. Have you been to the Lakewood Blue Claws Stadium?
Beautiful.
I have not.
Beautiful.
In left field, now I'm taking another side trip, but in left field, there are those giant beach chairs.
Yep.
Beyond the beach chairs is a woods. I will send you video of TJ Gardner at our event hitting softballs over the trees into that woods, which are about 460 feet away as per Google Math or Google Earth. And he's hitting them over the trees.
That's nuts.
Right. And Fuzzy, I think I sent you that video. So if you want to send that to them, it's crazy. But anyway, so we're there one year. And the way our derbies work, the guys have to sign up for a web page and they have to start raising money weeks in advance. The night before the event, we lock everything in. So the batting lineup, all the rules, all the advantages, which remind me to tell you about the advantages. That's all set. There is a massive monsoon this year, that year. There's a huge softball tournament in New Jersey that gets rained out. There are hundreds of softball players with absolutely nothing to do. They hear about our event. They flood the stadium. So now I've got a stadium with 300 people. They all want to play. Well, that's not how it works. So in between innings, we made little mini contests between the people that just randomly showed up. They had to raise money, they had to donate, they had to give something to help the family and help the cause. But we found a way to make it work. So I promise, maybe you guys turn on a donation page, you set yourself a goal, hit that goal, have you come out in between the inning.
When is your
round
next
one,
derby?
We'll have you guys hit.
So you have a derby coming up.
We have a derby on July 26th.
And then what's after that?
Trenton Thunder Stadium. That starts at noon.
Okay. And then do you have another derby in the fall? Are you working on that?
Not yet. Not
right.
on the calendar yet. So right now the next derby is July 26th.
So how about this? Drunk Phil's fan. Me and you will get a donation page or something. Keith, you can assist with this. And if we can raise $2,500, I will participate in a one-on-one with Chris from Drunk Phil's fan.
Sounds like a plan.
I love it.
I feel
we can get you guys set up so you can broadcast live during it or whatever you need.
Yeah.
But we'll have you go in between round one and round two.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a swing off, but it's like you said, I feel like 2,500 is a good start for us because, like I said, we have a lot of contacts in here. We can push it out on social media.
Yeah, your fan base will support you.
And I'm sure that they're in our group of friends would love to see me make a fool of myself.
Listen,
absolutely.
Really, all you need to get is $1 because I got $24.99 coming.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now,
yes, 100%. It's definitely going to be a K Derby.
I'm just letting you know. I am announcing it right now. We are already 1/25th of the way there to this goal. I am pledging $100 right now to this cause. So we are going to be, listen, I know who you are. Jay, I know you're listening. You're going to be donating, bud. Hate to tell you that.
I will, when we get the page up and running, I will donate $100 myself.
Perfect. All right.
There will be beer at the stadium. The concession stands are open. So,
hey, listen, if we can get $2,500 raised in 18 days, I guess I'm coming back from vacation and going to Trenton Thunder.
Yeah. Is there like a host that like one of the ones you hosted that like like you just mentioned one that kind of went off the rails, but you saved it and probably generated even more money because of luck of fate and the rainstorm and all that. Was there just one that like you were like, I can't believe this is really happening during this event? That you're like, oh crap.
Man. Yeah, well, one time it rained. We've done 30 of these. It's only rained once. Like, how does that work? Look at this summer. Anybody with kids that have little league, or if they're playing like men's rec league on Sunday mornings, dude, like it's rained the whole year. We only rained out one time, but I got to fulfill a bucket list item of being the guy that covers the field. So I did get that experience with the tarp and like all that. I'm glad I did it once. The second time I had to do it, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. This is hard. And I was tapping.
Like, nah. You get it one
Yeah,
time.
I did it, but it was cool. Probably the biggest, coolest event outside of the Derby was a couple years ago. The Major League Baseball Alumni Association found us, which there I'm like, Derek Morgan, who I mentioned earlier, is also like our social media guy. So big shout out to him, because MLB PAA called us and they said, hey, we want to do an event with you. And so we did a softball game. And it was almost the whole lineup of the 93 Phillies with Charlie Manuel versus Homers for Hope guys. And I have a bunch of pictures, I can send you for whatever you want. But Mickey Morandini, Milt Thompson, Ricky Batalico, God, I'm blanking on some more. And some other Nelson Figueroa. Oh my God, I can't remember them all. But
Shane Victorino does a lot of these things. Did he come out for that?
He wasn't there. Stalker was not available. Kruk was not available. But I mean, Mickey's awesome, and he does everything for the Phillies. He's great. Milt is great. They were all fantastic. But we're at FDR Park. The Phillies. I call the Phillies. They're fantastic. They're like, look, you MLBPA, you guys, we'll let you use the field. So their softball field down there that they use for their RBI. And they said, don't spread the word because we don't give it. No one can have it. This is a one-time thing. And I'm like, you got it, man. Thank you. So we're down there. Everybody's loose. We're waiting for Charlie. Like the whole thing is waiting on Charlie, right? Charlie pulls up. He's in like a Hawaiian shirt, no baseball cap, jeans. It's like, I don't know, 94 degrees outside, and it's down at FDR Park. And he's walking over like nobody cut the grass. He looks like some random old, like borderline homeless dude that's just walking around. And I see him from a mile away, and I'll tell Derek, I'm like, that's Charlie. Go grab him and make sure no one harasses him and get him over here safely. We get him here. We throw a Homers for Hope shirt on him. Him and Derek are meeting at home plate. He's the manager. They're the managers of each team. And then we play a softball game, right? When you run as many events as I do, there's never like chill. Well, once this game started, there was nothing for me to do. It was the first time in like 20 years that I'm like, oh my God, I can actually enjoy the game. I look over at the bench. Charlie Manuel's sitting by himself on the bench. There's nobody there. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go talk to Charlie Manuel, So I go over there. I get 2 innings alone with Charlie Manuel to talk about anything I want. We talked about leadership. We talked about managing. And we talked about what he did before he got into baseball. Guess what Charlie Manuel's favorite job is before baseball? If he was going to do anything else, what would he go back to doing?
I don't know. That's probably
everyone has to
JV
take a guess. Everyone has to take a guess here. Everyone. JV, what do you think Charlie Manuel's favorite job was to do prior to coaching?
I don't know.
Even to baseball.
Career, but
So never got into baseball.
I would say like a doorman bellhop kind of a thing.
Okay.
I love that answer.
Okay.
Not it, but I love that answer.
Eric, do you have a guess?
I'm going to guess that he would go back to like being a farmer.
Okay. Fuzz, do you have a guess?
Therapist.
A therapist. I think he would work in an ice cream parlor. Like, I think he would love like just scooping ice cream and just handing cones over to people and being like, "Here you go, bro."
All right, so two of you are in the same church. It's that kind of a job. He was a beer salesman for a beer company, but his job was to go into the bar and get you to stop drinking your beer of choice and start drinking the beer that he was selling.
Well, did he tell you what the brand was that he was the guy for?
I'm sure he did, but I don't remember that.
I would love it if it's like Pabst, you know what I mean? Like some really, he's like, why are you drinking that? You don't need that.
So, well, I'll tell you what, because the conversation proceeded, and then when we finally exhausted everything, and if you want, we can talk about what he thinks about leadership and stuff, because it is pretty interesting. I asked him who his least favorite player is too, and I'll get to that in a second. But
It's gotta be a man.
I said, where are you going after this? I said, where's your handler? Don't you have people? He goes, I got to go over to the stadium. They're naming a cheesesteak after me. And I said, really? I said, you're that into cheesesteaks? He goes, yeah, this. So this was like when they first did Charlie's, cheesesteaks in that little kiosk. I said, did you try it? He goes, yeah, I tried it. I said, is it good? And he stares like just dead.
It was not, and he was honest with you.
No, he goes, the best cheesesteak I ever ate in my entire life. That's what he said.
What?
And I'm like, I said, you're selling me some shit beer, aren't you? And he starts
okay, he knows it too. It was a terrible cheesesteak. It is.
Oh, it is not. There's nothing special about it. It was like me and Keith went to the game. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get this cheesesteak. I've heard nothing about it. And I was like, I waited in the line for this. I'm not 21. I'm not drunk, and it's not 3 a.m. It was not all that it was meant to be.
I went and tried it, and for a ballpark cheesesteak, understand what you're asking of it here. Okay, when you go to CBP and you get a hot dog, it usually looks like a dead finger. You know?
Yeah, but you can go to the alley and get like Campos. It's not exactly perfect Campo. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get things that are like adjacently good, or like at least like you're getting chickies. I know it's not great chickies. It can be soggy sometimes. Sometimes you get them. You're lucky you get them fresh. I get it. I even like the pizza. Right? Pizza's pretty good down there from Manco's.
I'll say this: it's the best cheesesteak in Citizens Bank Park. I'll give you.
You don't like Campos, right?
No.
Yeah,
I don't
why.
like Campos. I don't like Pat's. I don't like Geno's.
Yeah. Okay. It's fair.
Well, hold on. Since we're on the question, we'll do a quick roundtable. What is everyone's go-to? Real quick. We'll get
At
back
CBP?
To at CBP.
Okay.
JV.
Well, mine's not there anymore. I don't think. I like the Schmitter.
My
Schmitter.
wife loved it.
Yeah.
So good.
I think now it's just a good old-fashioned sausage and peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, other than Surfside?
So my go-to, if besides the Manco pizza, because I just love it, I'll get that anywhere. But my go-to is Bull's Barbecue.
Durso?
For me, it depends if I have someplace to eat. So if I have the ability to have the counter or a standing room, I'm doing Bull's Barbecue because I got the room to do that.
Yeah,
if I'm sitting in a seat, it's just hot dog, but not the finger one. Like sausage and peppers is good. Something I can be self-contained with. Yeah. Peanuts
Eric?
too. Bag of peanuts.
Mine, the chicken Pete's, the crab fries, basket of crab fries.
Yeah.
Just
Bull's
a reminder,
Barbecue.
the Schmitter.
I'm a savage wherever.
I just want to remind you, the Schmitter is a Kaiser bun, cheese, special sauce, which I believe was some sort of ketchup, mayo, relish type thing in there, grilled salami, tomatoes, more cheese, fried onions, steak sandwich, steak meat, even more cheese, and then you could also have like more fried onions or other grilled peppers. There was an option for that if you wanted it.
I think my heart just stopped.
Hold on. Gotta clean up here.
Just hearing
sorry.
that, oh man.
All right, so let's get back to Durso and talking with Charlie.
Okay. I asked him who his least favorite player was, and I got least favorite puh out of my mouth before he said Robbie Alomar.
Wow.
I couldn't even finish the sentence. It was like
Wasn't Robbie
he's
playing
like,
for him
Robbie
for a while?
Alomar cannot
Yeah.
understand, cannot take any direction at all. He's the greatest baseball player that ever lived. You can't teach him anything. He's just not coachable at all. So Charlie's not a real big fan. I'm sure he's going to love me telling that. But I was asking him about leadership and managing, and how do you manage these players' personalities? And he said the number one most important thing in leadership in general is you can't treat the superstar like they're a superstar. Because if you treat those guys like they are better than anyone else, then what you're going to have is a team and the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have a team anymore.
Yeah.
And helping them understand that. And that really stuck with me, just as a leader, as a coach, as a baseball guy, and just, being a student of that game. It really said a lot to me. And then it made the Robbie Alomar comment make even more sense. But dude, it's probably my most memorable moment with Homer so far, because I got, to spend that half an hour with him. Now, that's from the baseball side. From the family side, it's really, really, really hard, because you get really involved with these families. And probably the coolest story, it has a couple layers to it, so hang in there with me. In 2015, the Rotary Club of Ardmore wanted to sponsor a firefighter from the Bryn Mawr Fire Company who got run over by a car on senior week. He was a running back for Westchester University. You want me to drop names? I'm dropping every name we have in this story. Westchester University, Bryn Mawr Fire Company, Rotary. And he loses his leg. So he gets very depressed. He's, young 20-year-old kid. So we raise money through our fall baseball team. We had a fall baseball program that was raising money. And we paid his bills. And what he did with the money that he was, his family was still supporting him, was he was able to purchase a new prosthetic leg. And this kid's football work ethic built him into this, there's nothing you can't tell me I can't do. Don't you freaking tell me I can't do it, because I'm going to do it. Right? I'm going to do it 3 times and take pictures and send the pictures to your mom. That's this kid. So he gets this leg. Doctors are telling him it's going to take him a year to walk. He ran and sent me a picture of him running on this thing. And he's like, you see me doing this? He goes, I'm doing this because of you guys. You made me believe that total strangers can help somebody get back on their feet. And you literally helped me get back on my feet. The next year, he signs up to play in the Derby on his prosthetic leg. So now his name's Brian McDermott. Because of Brian, we created a bunch of different rules to promote point scoring, because he's not going to hit it 325 feet, right? So we set up a short fence, and we still have that short fence to the day. The short fence is about 150, 175. So it helps people that, I think this year we're going to have a 14-year-old who just wants to raise money. Well, he's going to score some points, right? So Brian turns around and raises $10,000. He becomes our biggest, most massive fundraiser ever. He ends up impressing this girl in the stands who's the sister of one of the participants. They end up getting married. And now when we have the Derby relatively at a stadium near where they live, it's a family freaking reunion. He shows up with 40 people. They get tomato pie. They camp out in the outfield someplace, and they watch Brian raise a buttload of money for another family and play. So a couple of years goes by, and he's doing this really great thing. We hear about a little girl up in Lakewood, New Jersey, and she has this really, really, really rare disease that 1 in 50,000 people has. She's 14. She doesn't walk. So her mom, she's 14 years old. Her mom carries her around everywhere she goes. And it's kind of like if you had a marionette kind of a doll. Her butt sits in here, the feet hang over the front. And this is where they go, because the girl can't walk. And if she can't be in the wheelchair, her mom carries her. And she's frail. We hear about her, and the story is there's a special therapy that only happens in California. Both of the parents are teachers in the Brick School District, and they only Keith, you're familiar with the school districts and being a teacher. So PTO doesn't work the same way that PTO does with the rest of the world. It's very, very strict and it's very tough. Plus, the teachers don't ever want to leave the kids. It's like the rest of their family. They love their kids, right? So it's got to be summertime. All these stipulations to get this girl this special therapy. Her name's Quinn. To get Quinn this special therapy out in California. So the doctor tells her if she can afford one more trip out there than they normally take, there's a chance she might walk this year. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So Brian's my first phone call. Dude, we got a chance to have this little girl walk. We got to go ape shit. So everybody's in. All the guys come out. They all raise a bunch of money. We play in this derby. We raise enough to send her out for the trip. So this is the fall derby. We do the fall derby in September. Halloween, I get a video from the mom where they're out there at the therapy, and it's Halloween, so they're all dressed up. All the therapists are dressed up in different outfits, but Quinn has on this spacesuit with quite literally some kind of outfit that they use in NASA to put when people are in space to help with muscle atrophy, and it makes it harder to move, so your brain has to work harder to move your muscles to make you move, right? But don't you know, she's freaking walking in the video. And
Wow.
it like shows on all, like, I'm like, so I sent that video to Brian, and we sent it to all the guys, and we were like, yo, we did it. Like this girl has never walked. And the doctors were like, we got a chance, but you got to figure out how to get them there. There's absolutely no way they could have afforded it. There was no way their boss was going to let them off. We got the district involved. These guys who don't know her from a can of paint all raised the right amount of money, and now that happens, and we get a video from her mom, like in tears, and we sent it to all the guys, and it was just like, that's probably one of my top favorite family related moments. Just the whole story all the way around, from Brian to the whole connection, and yeah, it's great. It's really great.
Oh, that's a great story. That's emotional, man. That's really great.
Yeah.
I was about to ask what's your onion cutting moment, and you just hit it there.
There's been a lot.
I'm trying to find who's cutting the onions around my house right now. So.
Yeah, man. It's something. And we renamed the summer derby for Mikey Souls Vasquez, who's a guy from Northeast Philly. He played in the derby 3 or 4 times. He raised a bunch of money for other families, and something happened to him at work, and he passed away at 32.
Oh, damn.
And his wife they have 2 young kids, and we've renamed that derby to honor him. But cool moment number 2, if you guys don't believe everything happens for a reason, I'm going to totally change your mind here, because there's a spider web. Whenever you do anything philanthropic or charitable, it's like a ripple in a lake. People at the other side of the lake that you don't know will feel the ripple, and you may never know. But the cool thing is, I actually learned and am learning more of these ripples. We helped her family, the Vasquez family. After Mikey passed away, we renamed it for him and the wife, Mrs. Millie. She was the first family. Well, she was trying to figure out life. I mean, what are we going to do without Mikey? We were able to pay their bills for a period of time. And while we were paying her household bills, she was starting a foundation called the Souls Foundation. And it's called the Souls Foundation because Mikey was a Nike guy. He was a sneakerhead. His nickname was Souls, like the sole of your shoe. And the Souls Foundation gives free sneakers to inner city kids in Philadelphia who can't afford sneakers. Right? So in 2009, my second baseman, Rip Rossioli, dies. We start Homers for Hope. 5 years ago, Mikey Vasquez passes away. And now kids in Philadelphia are getting sneakers because of all this. And it's rare that you get to track that, that you're able to find the evidence of people doing good and how everybody's trying to help each other. But it's really cool when that happens and you're able to understand that,
I think you're pointing out, and thank you for pointing this out because
It's
of
a
the
deep show, man. You guys are usually like, the Phillies suck.
no. Well,
We're taking a detour here, man. Sorry.
No,
But you know what?
Fine.
We're not taking a detour. This is a good show to have this conversation about. And I kind of feel where Keith's going. There's always more. There's always better people than there are bad people. I feel like that's where you were going, Keith.
yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that we gotta kind of like highlight, like we all really truly love baseball. Like when it comes down to it, we treat it like it's kind of a athletic chess game. It can be because the right moves that should probably be played in this situation, and you would love to see it happen. And when it does, it's magical. And when it doesn't happen, you're like, why does that dude get paid millions of dollars? And all that other stuff that goes along with it. But at the end of the day, it's a game, and you're using that game to drive people together. It does get competitive, but there are a lot of bad people in the world, but you're making good of it. And I want to point out that while this is whatever its scale is, it does become a spider web. It does that cascading effect where you don't even realize the impact that it's having by allowing all of these, first of all, allowing these families to become financially stable and to not worry about that. That is, first of all, that is just a tremendous relief. There's nothing like money stress. It's just the truth, right? It's going to live with most of us. People say money can't buy happiness. No, it'll get you comfortable enough to start focusing on where you can find happiness. And when you're in a financial crisis, there's no other feeling like that. So, but you're also empowering and inspiring other people who have benefited from this to do their own thing, or they have made it their identity. How do you separate? And I know you probably don't at this point. You don't, homers for hope is you. But how do you separate finding the right person to help, because there's a lot of people out there to help, versus how does that come about? Like, what's the process? Like, what's the vetting look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. We made the mistake in our very first year of putting the application online.
Yeah.
And we're not that big. We don't have any paid employees. We are little. So that came off the internet really quick. We were on Preston and Steve multiple times. One time I got a phone call from a guy who said, hey, listen, I'm not sure if you can help me, but I got this tragedy. Okay, what's your tragedy? Well, I'm getting a divorce and I really can't afford a lawyer. I'm like, yo, get in line, dude. Like that's not the kind of thing that we're helping here. Like, go to the website, check out so the process is normally, we have to hear about them through one of our channels. So you guys are all been trained, right? And this is part of your training. So if you're all knighted, if you hear of a family that meets the following criteria and situation, right? We don't take anybody off the internet blind. We just don't trust, just like you said before. Well, for every good person, there's 3 bad people. So usually a board member or somebody vets them, because if you're going to present them to me, if something is not truthful, I'm going to you. So that's number one. Number two, we try as best we can to make sure that whatever the tragedy is, it was not caused by the person knowing full well they were taking a risk to do that. So if you ride a dirt bike up and down your street with no helmet and you're doing pop wheelies and you fall off and get a traumatic brain injury, we might not help you, right? It's got to be something that was not done through something like that. It's got to affect your income. So most of our families have a situation where one of the 2 parents had to quit their job to care for the situation. So if you put it in the easy context of my kid, sorry to say it that way, like it's easy.
It's trust me, it's the way.
Unfortunately,
it's the way you.
Context,
Yeah.
Right. Usually it's mom. So mom quits her job to be the chauffeur and the caregiver and everything, and dad is working 2 shifts now, and they don't make enough money. They're starting to dip in their savings. They started to pile up the credit cards. Once all that goes, now we are late on late payments. We don't want families dipping into their savings. We want to stop it. We want to try to help them get through the treatment phase of whatever they're doing and come out of that financially the same as when they went into it. Unfortunately, we find families a little too late, and we're like stopping evictions. We stopped evictions a couple times. Like, we heard about them. They were being evicted. I'm like, here's a check. Boom. And it's out of our emergency fund. So typically, then there's an application. So there's a small application, a small interview. We recognize these families are dealing with a bunch of shit, and they're in their worst time in their lives. So the last thing I want to do, and our board and I, is make things hard on them. We just want to make sure that it's a legit situation and it's something that the public's money is going to be able to make a difference with. Unfortunately, we've had to say no to a couple situations where it's not going to make a difference. And if we determine through our board that it's not going to make a difference, unfortunately, it's not the right fit for us. And sometimes that's in a case where there's already a massive amount of public support. Like, they've got a GoFundMe page with like $250,000 on it. Well, okay, cool. They're good for now. 5 years from now, when that money runs out, we'll take a look at it. But right now, it's not for us. So, each event we do has a poster child family. Now, you're actually not allowed to donate money to a charity and tell the charity that I want it to go to this family, and then turn around and take a tax deduction. Okay, that's actually not allowed. The deduction part's not allowed. So what we do is we say, you're going to help families like the Myers family, or families like the Dudley family. And then we tell the Dudley family's story. So the fundraiser raises its money. We take the expenses of the event. We get everything for free that we possibly can get. And then the board looks at what's left over, and the board makes a couple decisions. One, how much money does Homers for Hope want to save for like an emergency? Usually it's $500. We're extremely transparent. So anybody wants to know what's in the bank, we'll tell you everything. And the next thing is the emergency fund. Usually we pull out $1,500 from the leftover money and put it into an emergency fund for families that we don't even know about. But if I need to write a check to pay someone's mortgage to keep them in their house, that's that. Then the rest of it, most of the time, is granted to the family that was the poster child family for the event. And that can be all over the place. It really depends on a million different things. The economy, the family themselves, the support level they got. Did the players know them personally? Last year, we had a player raise $14,560. It was an all-time record for Homers for Hope for a single event. It was an all-time record for a whole year. And that's because the guy was in a local steam fitters union, and they knew each other from work. But the softball player was just tremendously plugged in with all the locals, and all the locals supported him. And this family has a 1-year-old baby at CHOP going through cancer treatments. And we're really happy to say that the baby right now has had very, clear reporting. Baby looks like he's doing good. Wolfinger, his name is. Good. Ren Wolfinger is the baby. But yeah, so it's a good process. I mean, it's pretty well vetted. The public trust is everything. If the public doesn't trust us, we have a problem. So we're super transparent with everything.
So, not everybody's a softball player or a home run hitter. What are some other events or ways that folks can get involved and help raise money, and maybe, like I said, do it differently than the home run derby, another event or something like that?
No, it's a great question. So we have some things every once in a while that pop up, but if someone just wants to raise money, they can just shoot me an email and we can get super creative. We have raffled off custom Rawlings baseball gloves. We've raffled off people's shore homes. We've done, block pools, things like that. But if someone wants to run a wiffle ball tournament, if somebody wants to run a cornhole tournament, if somebody wants to run a dart tournament, they can run it under our umbrella. The thing that makes Homers for Hope really special, and I have been asked to speak at Drexel about this, and I've been asked to speak at Ryder about this. I've had some college kids do papers like on this. We have found a way to raise a lot more money than normal home run derbies, and the reason is we mix fundraising into the contest. So if you want to run a 3-on-3 tournament, actually, we consulted with the Darren Dalton Foundation about this. The Darren Dalton Foundation, we shared our playbook with them. They ran a wiffle ball tournament in Conshohocken, I don't know, 6-7 years ago using this playbook. So the idea is you start with the qualifying amount to play really low, like $250. So our derby, you can register, get your page, fundraise your page, $250, you're in the event. There's two fences. There's the real home run fence at Trenton, and then there's a shorter fence through the outfield about 150 feet. I mentioned it. Those home runs are worth 1 point and 2 points. But if you raise $500, the 2 pointers become 3. If you raise $1,000, the short fence goes from 1 point to 2. So you're incentivized. Your points are worth more money. All right. If you recruit somebody, and your recruit raises $500 or more, you start to get bonus points of 20%. So we have like a total pyramid scheme to recruit people, you know.
But it's a good pyramid scheme.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah, you know, we $2,500, you can't be knocked out in round 1. You're safe. So $5,000, you're in the championship. We had a guy get.
It's pay to win.
Right.
It's like a mobile app.
Yeah.
It's pay to play better.
I love it. No, dude, trust me. This is the one thing. So that's the one thing I'll always get behind. You know, like if you're buying your way for like a good cause, by all means, that's really a great way to incentivize like the total dollar amount that you get out of there. You're always going to have a whale in something, and they're going to want to do that. I do. I love it. It's truly brilliant.
No, it's
so if somebody watching wants to run, if they're passionate.
Thank
about
you, Sean.
So Derek just texted me and told me, have Durso make a fundraising page for the podcast, and we'll tell our listeners if we raise $2,500 in donations, I'll do a swing off. So we already talked about that, but Derek wants me to tell you to do the page, to make the page, and once you do it, you send it out. Like I said, I'm gonna donate 100. Keith's gonna donate 100. Listen, if we can get the goal to go more and more, I'll get Sean Selby from Corner Pub Sports to come out. You know,
we got Chris.
Let's get this go.
We got Chris. Hold on, Chris challenged you, so it's gonna be. We got Chris coming from
Drunk Phil's fans.
From Drunk Phil's fans. I'm gonna try and bully Danny or Alex into it from Quit Chasing Podcast. Yep. And now I've already told Sean. Look, Sean, you're a best-selling author, all around great guy. You've married into the dynasty of Phillies legends. Definitely.
Now, I'll really turn up the heat. All right. So one of the things that is a tradition with the softball derby is the championship belt. The champion gets their name on the belt, and they hold it for a year, but they have to defend it, right? So they're coming back the next year. It's kind of like boxing. Like you got to defend your belt, or else you vacate the belt.
Yeah, right.
So for your fan base, I'll make a fundraising belt that whoever the number one donor is, they'll get that belt, and they'll have to defend that belt the next year. But I'll also make one for the winner of your derby, of your swing off. So I'll give you guys 2 belts, one for you guys that has to go back and forth, but one for one of your, not the 4 of you, somebody else that's watching this who wants to kind of stroll around their house and just be the man around the house, like with his big ass belt for their kids or whatever. But if you guys are game for that, I'll come up with 2 more belts for you. One for your top fundraiser and one for
Keith and Eric, or Keith and Jeremy. I'll wear that to the pool Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Or be in a Speedo with the belt. that the
This
jersey
is
short.
This is
I want
amazing.
I want the Jason Kelsey Speedo.
Out of
Listen, this really escalated quickly. Like
In no
I was
way
like,
did I
We'll put your
expect
logo
this.
on it too. We'll put your logo
So-
on it.
That's fine. It was funny because like I had in the group chat. I was like, I said, listen, I said, this is a great thing we're doing. I said, I really want us to get involved with Homers for Help. Use what we have built with the Broken Bell and the Philly and the Hall of Fame. And like I said, we become friendly, and now it. You can see where it's going. Like next week, you're going to be on Drunk Phil's fans, who has just as many followers as us, if not more. And their content is great. Like this is going to get out. And if this fundraiser thing really goes off, I'm not looking forward to it because I'm gonna look like a fool. But it's for a good cause. I have no problem doing it.
Well, look, we'll do. It'll be July 26th at approximately 2:00 in the afternoon, because that's probably when round 1 and round 2 will break, and that's where we'll slide you guys in. But yeah, man, I think it's just fun, man. It's just a fun day. Like, it's a great time.
I mean, we should actually kind of just completely make this the battle of the podcast, and I could represent the Philly.
Yeah.
Oh, we better
can
start
get-
raising like
you know what we can
$5,000.
do? We can get each podcast its own
I will
page,
also
and it'll
donate my
roll up.
$100 too.
It'll roll up to its own, like a team of just the 3 of you guys, so that we're very easily able to see the various podcasts, and how much
I
money
like
they
it.
raise, and we'll do your own little mini tournament inside of our thing.
And you know what's funny?
like
is
it.
I'm looking at my calendar right now, and Chase does not have any college showcases that weekend. The only thing going on is the Jordan Spector signing a Monkey's Uncle that Friday. So I should have.
Well, it sounds like you got your own pitcher.
Well, we got 18 days. Oh man,
You don't need any
blow this up.
You and me going to
I'm
Burl
gonna go
home,
in there- I'm
bro.
going to go in there, I'm going to go in swinging like melted ice cream.
Dude, stop! Come on, stop with the. Oh my God, stop with the. Oh, listen, if this wasn't for a good cause, I'd be saying stop. But listen, I'll do whatever. You know me. I'm like I said, we'll do whatever it takes. Like we can help raise whatever it is. Like I said,
I love
we're already
this.
at
This is brilliant.
We're already at 200, and like I said, Keith's got it. Keith has a lot of people he talks to. I have a lot of people I talk to. We'll see. We are at 300. Great. Oh, son of a bitch.
Listen, you're about to get the power of Parkwood behind you too. So
You better get on that, JV. And they can say, hey, look at this guy make a fool of himself. He used to coach Parkwood baseball and soccer. But yeah, I'm all for it. So when you coach, what was Mickey Morandini, or not Mickey Morandini? What was Milt Thompson like? Real quick, I wanted to circle back. Like, did you talk to him at all?
Milt was quiet, but Milt was cool. He seems like
he's a
cool
smooth and cool.
Yeah. He was real cool. Milt had probably he was cool and quiet, but he had the most animated reaction to really good plays, if that makes sense. So like,
No,
there was a guy on their team. We had 2 guys that are normally Homers for Hope guys. They're ex professionals. Like, so they played minor leagues, but they never made it to the majors. So we wanted the pro guys to be with the Phillies in that softball game. One of the reasons was we wanted Homers for Hope guys on their bench so that they could talk to the Phillies players about the charity. So it wasn't just them. And the feedback we got was that Milt Thompson really liked the Derby the softball game, because they do nothing but golf outings. So this was different. This was a different thing. Number 2,
dude,
they have
golf
to play
outings suck.
baseball with each other again. When's the last time Milt Thompson and Mickey Morandini played baseball or softball? Like, they just don't. So they got to be in that environment again. So they loved it. But we had a guy named Chris Rollins who we put on their team. Chris doesn't take direction very well. And Chris has only one speed, and it's fucking go, and it's go hard. So FDR Park, this little softball field, if you know what I'm talking about.
The lakes.
Oh, the lakes, baby. The lakes. We've done it.
And there's a playground beyond the right field fence. Chris is right-handed, but right field fence, there's a playground with like 20 children.
He killed 3 kids that day.
He was hitting freaking missiles into the playground. And we're like, stop. Like, we put a rule in. You're only allowed to hit 1 home run an inning. Like, we're just like, if you hit a home run, you're out. We wanted to keep the ball inside the yard. He did not understand that. Milt Thompson is yelling at him. Milt Thompson is like, yo, we get 1. It doesn't have to be you every time. And Chris just doesn't get it. He's like, I go up there and I'm Bam Bam. He's just dull.
That's amazing. That's so
I love the Flintstones reference. Yeah. Bam Bam.
Yeah. I mean, he's like dragging the bat up behind him. Like, no practice. He's just ready to go.
Yeah, and like I said, like that's a short field, and when you're just hitting bombs, and I'm like, oh, there's a family of 3. All right, yeah. Somebody call 911. Get the first aid kit out.
Ridiculous, but Thompson's cool. Thompson was, cool cat the whole time. A couple of like rah kind of moments in between them, but they were all so nice, and they took pictures with everybody, and they were signing autographs and everything, and it was just a really cool day. And the family we helped, this is a guy who went in for a knee replacement, had a stroke at the hospital, and was now paralyzed. He's in Havertown, and he had to convert his dining room into like a bedroom. So now he is stuck on 1 floor. This guy couldn't go to the bathroom without an aid. He needs help to get up the stairs and everything. So imagine you guys, the freedom you have as a 40 to 50 to 35-year-old something guy. You can do whatever you want whenever you want. Like, you want to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. This dude couldn't do that. He had to wait for help. So the funds that we raised, we actually renovated his house and put a bathroom in on the first floor that was handicap accessible. And then we renovated his sunroom in the back into a proper bedroom. So now this guy's got a lot of talk about lifting his spirits. He felt like this anchor.
Space. Yeah.
And now he can go to the bathroom again by himself. He doesn't need to pay someone to help him. Like, he can just go do it. So all of them, they all got to meet them. They're the Scott family from Havertown. Morandini and everybody, they were so nice and just so, just real gentlemen. But it was cool.
That's awesome. Listen, we're going to do 2 of our segments. We would like for you to join us. If you have somebody you would like to join in, if you would like to answer on a Stump the Fuzz question, you can jump in. We have a segment called Stump the Fuzz, and we let Fuzzy try to answer some trivia questions here. And if you don't know it can go to you. Or anyone else who thinks they know the answer. Our chat often submits their answers. They try to get it before him. So, sometimes they're successful. Sometimes he's more successful. But let's see what we got here for him. Hall of Fame Club presents Stump the Fuzz. Hey, how you doing, Fuzzy? You feel ready and prepared this week?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I got a couple of easy dingers for you.
Oh,
I've decided to categorize some of my questions by level. So here's what I decided to do. You now have 3 levels, right? You get to pick a number. It's a random question. If it doesn't matter. If it's super random, that's the one you get. You get to pick 1 through 5 for easy. Whatever number you get, it could be super easy. It could be a little bit like, how the hell would I know that? But I've deemed it officially easy. And if you get that, you're allowed to pick a medium number and then a hard number. Okay?
Sure.
At any time you get it wrong, the game's over. Sorry, bud. Okay.
A quick game today.
It may be a quick game today. So Fuzz, easy level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, sir.
2.
2. Okay, 2. Easy. Who led the Phillies in home runs from 2006 to 2010?
Ryan Howard.
That is.
That is correct.
Okay.
All right, very good, very good. You now get yourself into the medium field. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for the medium field.
Go 2. We'll stick with 2.
Are you sticking with the
Since
2?
it's
Okay.
Since it's working.
Yep. This is from the medium field. Who hit the first home run at Citizens Bank Park?
First home run at Citizens Bank Park. Oh my God! Not Philly. The first home run, right?
The first home run, not the first home run by a Philly. It could be by a Philly. Do you know who even played in our first series against the Phillies?
I know Randy Wolf was the pitcher.
He was. I'll give you the date and the team.
Okay.
Would you like that?
Um.
Well, let's go to the judges. Is that acceptable, JV? John, Eric, can we give him a date and team? Is that too much?
I mean, I feel like the date should be obvious.
Yeah, the date's a little irrelevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true because are we talking about official? Because they used to do that stupid series.
That with the Pirates where they would play the one game. It was
Yeah.
still that was considered spring training still.
Yeah.
It was.
All right, so
These got to be legit games.
no,
He plays for the Reds.
That on deck series. I remember that, the on deck series.
Oh
so
yeah,
I'm gonna guess.
that's right. Oh, that good for you,
Oh,
Eric.
no.
Damn.
All right, hold on. First home run to 2004 wasn't Rollins. Utley didn't come up to 05. And all right, so I just found out he was on the 05 team. So I'm just going with a guess. It's Bobby Abreu.
He just told you it was a red.
Oh, he told me it was a red.
I did.
Oh.
I did. And
Oh.
so you wasted it.
Oh, I thought you said it was the Cincinnati Reds.
No, it was a red. It was. Does anyone here know? I'll throw it over to the crowd.
I feel like it was a no-name player. Like it was not like a star player on the Reds. I could be wrong.
I want to say DeRozier. For some reason, that's sticking out in my head.
No, you are 100% correct, Durso. It is D'Angelo Jimenez.
Yeah.
Who? So yeah. There we
You know
go.
who knew the answer to that? Mrs. Jimenez.
Yes. Right.
His mom.
His mom.
That's the only,
His
the
mom.
only person who knows the answer to that
Right.
question.
She knew that. 100%. My boy at CBP. All right, not bad. All right, you couldn't get to the hard round this week. I apologize for that. Hall of Fame Club presents Stump the Fuzz. Our second awesome segment that we have to get through because contractual obligations say we do. That was live footage from behind my house. So that's the dummy of the week intro. JV, do you have a dummy?
I did, but I decided to steer away from the negativity and kind of stay on the positive side with having John here. You know, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to everybody like John that puts together and runs these various charities that help a lot of great people out there get through tough times, help raise money for, you know, kids' cancer, for families, for fallen officers, fallen first responders, all of them. So just kudos to all those guys and everybody that runs those things. 'Cause I'm sure it can't be easy. So, I appreciate all your hard work and appreciate what you guys do.
Well said.
That was really, really well said, but completely missed the mark of dummy of the week. So you get an F minus, sir. I mean, you could have just said that after the segment was over and still had a dummy.
Nope. I wanted to stay positive, even with the dummy.
Well,
Chris, who do you got?
Well, I have two.
Well, then I'll go one before you. You can lay your two on. Because if you take one of mine, I'll be pissed. I'll give you mine right now.
No, mine is you because it was not D'Angelo GM as what his name is. I'm looking at the box score right now.
All right. He's bringing receipts.
But
right.
it's Phil Cuzzy. Phil Cuzzy. Anyone who doesn't pick Phil Cuzzy, you're a dummy.
I'll get this is wrong then. It's listed on the official website on the stat site. D'Angelo Jimenez, Reds, April 12th, 2004.
I got him found down for a double. They have a double and a triple that day.
Huh.
And Abreu scored the only run with a home run. He did it in the first inning. Because I feel like we had this conversation before. But anyway.
I did too.
But
who's your dummy?
But it's Phil Cuzzy.
Who's your dummy?
Phil Cuzzy.
Go ahead.
Why is he the dummy?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to call balls and strikes. He missed 20 calls in a game last night. 20!
I had to look it up. I had to look it up this morning on
Umpire
Twitter,
Auditor.
On Twitter, is it or X or whatever.
When I'm like falling asleep and I hear my wife bitching about the umpire, what? And I got up and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. That was really bad. And then I watched I watched Ryan Kirkring strike out Matt Chapman 6 times last night.
Twice in a row. Yes. You watch him strike him out twice in a row. 100%. Yeah, Phil Cuzzy is terrible. I think we would have done a whole segment on this.
Oh, God.
If not having a planned show for it. Eric, do you have a dummy? Did anyone tick you off this week? It doesn't have to be a sports person, but do you want to get anything off your chest? Anything frustrating you?
You're muted.
He's muted.
Yeah. So real quick. So
he is. Hold on. Yeah, he is.
So Mike Dunbar chimed in. Mike's a good friend of the shows. Mike, we're doing a charity event. You're gonna have to donate $100.
My dummy of the week, I feel like I might get some slack from Fuzzy because I feel like he always cuts him slack. So I don't know how he's going to bounce on this one. And this one goes to Austin Hayes for taunting the fans after hitting a home run in a game where he was clearly getting booed because you can hit a home run when you have that going for you. We did win that game 3-1, so it really didn't matter. But he got booed, and he said, "Okay, if you're booing me, let me hear that." He gave a little Hulkster, if you will, to the crowd. You're a dummy, dude. You don't want to piss off Philly fans. You will become irrelevant, and they'll still boo you. You know what I mean? Like they'll see you at a random Rite Aid one day. No, they won't be in existence. But you'll be somewhere, and someone's gonna just boo you, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell?" You're gonna be like, "I was at that game." Like, don't do that.
I'm unmuted now. I should be unmuted now, right?
There you are.
There you are.
There you are.
Yeah. I had a little glitch in my roadcast.
You got Mikey. Mikey loved it. Loved what Hayes did.
He probably hurt his kidney.
Tyler checking in. If you guys aren't checking out Tyler's shorts on our Broken Bell and Facebook page, please do. Subscribe his stuff. He's just awesome. But he says anyone not Phil Cuzzy is a missed call. Dummy of the week from Mikey Dunbar is the NBA, a 17 trade allowed. I tried to follow it. I really did. I read it like maybe 4 times and I still didn't understand how that trade went down. That is 100%.
One of them boards like they have in the
dude, it was ridiculous.
With,
it was a ridiculous. I couldn't. I could. It was a who done it with like by the end of it, it was like, what are we talking about?
I didn't even hear about it.
Dummy of the week, the mayor of Philadelphia. So
Chris is strike. Chris is chiming in from, it sounds like, North Carolina. You know him, Durso?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm the dummy of the week for not mentioning him when we were talking about memorable people. This guy, Chris Dansett, his nickname up here is Rebel. I call him the Godfather because we literally have a family tree of people this guy has recruited, and he has earned a couple of different accolades from us over time. But he's responsible for about something like $45,000 or $50,000 of funds to families based on his connections in the softball community. So this one dude, Chris, and I was going to tell you, he's texting me. I'm like, you guys have a fan in North Carolina who's yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in, Chris. You know, like I said, now it's my turn to try and raise $50,000.
Let's start with the 25 and go from there.
Oh. But Durso, you have a dummy of the week?
I have pretty much every politician in the state of Texas. Like,
Yes.
well played. Played.
How do you? Whatever. We're not going to go there. Everybody knows.
It doesn't matter how many times do you need to have a winter storm, a heat storm, anything to come through, water, heat, snow, for them to care. And I get it. It doesn't matter as long as they're in Europe on vacation, they're okay.
The name of it was like Flood Alley. Like you're going somewhere with the name, and there's money for an early warning system.
Yep.
It's just beyond me. I mean,
I think Durso wins dummy of the week.
That is correct. He does. You win, sir.
Enjoy that bell.
In that one.
John, thank you so much for joining us. I hope this is like the beginning of a very beautiful partnership. I really do. I think there is, you know what? Chris just wrote it here. I was going to say there's just so much honor in what you. He just took it off. What you do.
I didn't take it off.
And it's very clear that you're doing this for all the right reasons. It's lasted for 15 plus years. We're just sorry that we're going to get into it this late, but we're happy to do whatever you need and be aboard for it. And we're going to get all the links up on the Facebook page, the YouTube page. Make sure that hits that. I'll edit this video to make sure the links are in there directly to the donations and event page. Do you want to go one more time when the next event is? Just kind of chug it along and what people can do to maybe either sign up or know how they can get there?
Yeah, man. Thank you. And again, guys, thanks for having me. This was a blast. You guys have a great show. You're all perfect gentlemen. So I appreciate it, and I'm excited to have you guys, do some stuff with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. But
yes, you're a gentleman, Keith.
Never.
We've been looking for a reason to have Advil be a sponsor, and you guys might be.
At least it's not Viagra.
When I have a headache this big. Yeah. Oh wait, that's Excedrin. My bad.
Yeah.
Chris, maybe we can get Nolan Ryan, right? Let's get Nolan Ryan to come out.
Dude,
he wasn't even in that bill.
That's Jeremy's boy. His son's named after Nolan.
Yeah, my little guy is named after the greatest pitcher of all time, Nolan Ryan.
Smart man. You should name your hamster after Clayton. But anyway.
So just to tell us the next
July
event.
26th. July 26th. Trenton Thunder, show up at noon. Ceremony starts around noon. Home run derby at noon. And then right around 5 p.m., we're going to convert the field over to a baseball game. And a whole different group of volunteers that play hardball for Homers for Hope. They're going to play an evening game at Trenton Thunder, and our guys are good. I mean, they're we throw smoke in there at like 50 miles an hour, and most people can't touch their toes, and it's ridiculously embarrassing. But it's for a lot of raising money for a good cause and helping families out. So come on out and see us.
Hopefully, Derek's pitching.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
All right, so Durso, I will tell you this. Like Derek said, get that link up, however quick it takes you to make it. Send it over. I will shoot it out. Eric will shoot it out. Jeremy will shoot it out to all the people in Parkwood.
If somebody can email me your logo right away, I'll use that to put right on the page, and you'll have it in a couple minutes.
Anybody want to do the broken? Keith, you have his email. Send the Broken Bell one if you have it.
Sure.
Yeah. Listen, this should be interesting. This should be interesting. Like if we and listen, I'm like I said, I'm all for doing whatever to raise money, but like I'm just gonna call it. I think this is gonna blow up. It's definitely gonna blow up in my face. Am I allowed to wear this?
You can wear whatever you want. Hey, look,
Bro, you cannot disadvantage yourself any more than you already have.
Yo, you can pitch any style you want, so you don't have to throw underhand. You can bring any bat you want. We have bats for you, but you can go up there with the Nolan Ryan table leg. I don't care. You can pitch overhand. If Chase wants to throw overhand to you to get more velocity on the pitch in, you can do that. What I think there's a missed opportunity here. Now, we're going to do belts for you guys, like I said. But you could have an opportunity for side bet for who has the most exit velo, because we're going to be recording exit velos too.
Oh, son of
So just get the wheels turning with the fans there.
So this might be the first time you actually record negative velo on somebody.
I know. Why are you going to talk about Chris from Drunk Phil's fan like that?
Listen, yo, Eric, if the radar gun runs out of batteries, I know who to go to.
Yeah.
But real quick, I got you. Real quick though, you are going to be on Drunk Phil's fan next Thursday, the 17th at 7 p.m. I believe, to discuss this event, which means he will now be promoting more of this fundraising for us to get this out here, and I love it. Listen, like I said, I'm glad we got ourselves involved.
I'm thrilled to have you guys involved. This will be a lot of fun for you and a lot of fun for everybody else. So thank you guys very, very much for having me on. Love what you guys do. And thanks for the help.
Oh, thank you so much.
And this is why we do our stuff live. So when we get called out, we can't like hide. Like, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Nope. JV, take us to the promised land.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Very special. Thank you again to John and Homers for Hope for joining us on the show tonight. We definitely appreciate you guys. If you can, go out on the 26th, check out the Home Run Derby. Other than that, coming up this week on the Broken Bell Network, we have the Philly podcast tomorrow. Do you guys have a guest tomorrow?
Yeah, we have Jordan Spector, who's doing an appearance at Monkey's Uncle for he's signing his portraits.
And he has some wicked cool portraits, if you guys have ever seen them.
Love them.
They're really cool, really unique. It looks like that one's the Dawkins, right?
That's the Saquon one.
The Saquon, sorry. Tiny screen. I couldn't really see it. I apologize. Yeah. So that's on Wednesday. So
hey now.
Make sure you join Eric, Chris, and Keith for the Philly. Thursday, we have the return of the Northeast Philly podcast with our comedy show draft, our comedy movie draft. We have both guys, Alex and Danny from Quid Chasin', joining the show that day. So it should be quite interesting. So join us there at 9:00. Other than that, we are off on vacation next week. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. And, since it's baseball season, instead of go Birds, we'll say go Phils.
Go Phils.
Go Phils.
Go homers for hope.
Oh, Fuzz, can you do the one? You were going to do the one bit that you had. You texted me about earlier. Can you start that?
Sure. What would that?